Quality Branding Hub. The channel is for the quality control engineer, site engineer, and the civil engineer who are working in the construction field. In this channel, we are dealing with anything and everything which is required to get success in the construction. Now, success is not only about the project success. Of course, we are working for the projects. It needs to be success in the project also. But after all, we are also working for ourselves. So how we can get success in our career, that also we are discussing in this channel. So what is today's topics? Today's topics is a very important topics. Now it's a hot and humid weather in India. So whenever you are working in hot and humid weather, you need to do the concreting. So what is the precaution you need to take during the hot weather? So today's video is all about the hot weather concreting precaution. So stay tuned until then to get the full information. And if you are new in my channel, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will get immediate notification. So without wasting time, let's jump into the subject. Now in India, it's a very hot summer. Now in this hot summer, we need to do the concrete, because any projects we have to do the concrete. But the hot weather has the adverse effect on concrete. Now how we can mitigate that one, or what is the precaution we can take so the any detrimental of effect of the weather cannot penetrate or cannot deteriorate our concrete properties. So first we need to know what is hot weather concreting, because any weather is not hot, but as per human beings, we are not at good, or we are not very much not habituated with the hot or the cold. Both are not good for us, but there is a limit. So for the concrete also there is a limit, we call the hot weather concrete. Before that, we need to know that in India, whenever we are working, the code for the hot weather concrete in IS 7861 part 1, and according to that one, the hot weather concreting is any operation of concreting done at atmospheric temperature above 40 degrees centigrade, or any operation of concrete other than steam curing where the temperature of concrete at time of its placement is exceeded beyond the 40 degrees centigrade. So if the temperature of the atmosphere is more than 40 degree, but you need to do the concreting, that called the hot weather concrete. The same way, if there is a high wind pressure and if the humidity level is very less, that also we are considering hot weather concrete. So in that hot weather, we need to do the concrete, because we cannot stop the projects until for the waiting for the winter will come and we will do. It's not possible. We have to do the concrete. So we need to find out the way. Now what will be the effect? Now if we are doing the concrete during the hot weather, what will be the habit? So first thing, that will be the accelerated setting. It is given in the IS 7861. What is that? High temperature increase the rate of setting of the concrete. Now the duration of time during which the concrete can be handled or is reduces. So what is happening? The setting time is increase the rate of setting time. So the time for the transportation, handling, and the placing is become less. So quick setting may necessitate undesirable retempering by addition of water. It may also result in cold joint. Now see, if the when we are working on the hot weather, this accelerated setting can happen and the retempering is required, maybe addition of water. So this can be happen in the side, because the time for the setting is increased, so we are getting less time. Now if we are working on the hot weather, it is reduction in strength. High temperature result in the increase of the quantity of mixing of water to maintain the workability, which consequently reduction in strength. Now in high temperature, what is happened? Rate of evaporation is high. So if the rate of evaporation is high, that means the mix is demand more water, and if the more water we are adding into the mix, that means water cement ratio will increase and it will reduces the ultimate strength. So we will not get the strength what we are actually designed for. So there is also this effect can be there for in the hot weather concrete. Then increased tendency to crack. Now what will happen? The either before or after hardening, plastic shrinkage cracks may form in the partially hardened concrete due to the rapid evaporation of water. What is happening into the mix? We are adding water, and when we are adding water, it starts reaction with the concrete, that we call the setting time or the hardening of cement or the addition of cement, whatever. But if we are placing, and if there is a high temperature, what is happen? The moisture inside the concrete, it will evaporate, and when it is evaporating, it will generate cracks on the surface. So there is a tendency to increase the crack during the hot weather. Now next is rapid evaporation of water during curing period. Again, it's a hot weather, and so the moisture from the or the water from the mix, it will evaporate rapidly than the winter time. If the temperature is less, then evaporation will be less. If the temperature is more, evaporation will be more, and evaporation is more, there will be less water to react with the concrete, and then there will be reduction in strength, cracks will generate. So it is difficult to retain moisture for hydration and maintain reasonably uniform temperature condition during the curing period. So that is what I am discussing, that there will be less water for the reaction, because in the concrete C3S, C2S is there, so it will react and they will form CSHL, and they will make the concrete hard and spaced. But if the water is less for the concrete retained due to the evaporation, then there is a reduction in strength. And then difficulty in controlling of the air entrant concrete, that is also a part. We are using air entrant concrete to resist the Fritzsche cycle, but if the temperature is high, it is difficult to maintain the air entrant concrete in air. It is in the more difficult to control air content in the air entrant concrete. This adds the difficulty of controlling workability. For a given amount of air entering agent, hot concrete will enter less air than concrete the normal temperature. So these are all the effect for the hot weather. Now what is our target? Our target to reduces that one. When there is a problem, solution is also there, because we need to do the concrete at the hot weather also, but we need to protect. And whatever we are discussing, that this accelerated setting, reduction in strength, increased tendency to crack, rapid evaporation of water, and difficulty in concrete or in air content. So these are all the effect that can be happened if we place the concrete in above 40 degrees centigrade, or the atmospheric temperature is more than 40 degrees centigrade. Now how we can mitigate that, and what are the precaution we can take? The precaution we can take, the best way to reduces the concrete temperature. But how? That the reduces of the ingredients temperature. Now what is the ingredients? The ingredient is the water, aggregate, and the cement. These three are the main aggregates. Now if we are maintaining the temperature or the lowering the temperature of these three ingredients, it automatically the temperature of the concrete is lowered down, and what is the detrimental effect, that will be minimized. So how? The first is the aggregate. Now any one of the procedure or combination of procedures given is for the following temperature control of the aggregate. What? Shading stockpiles from the direct rays of the sun. So in the batching plant, what is done? There is a beam. All we know that the coarse aggregate, fine aggregate is there. Now what is happening? If it is directly sunlight, under the direct sunlight, it will absorb the heat, and if temperature of the aggregate will more, and if we add that one into the mix, what will happen? Again this temperature will be more for the concrete. So we need to protect that also. First thing, we need to shade that one, so there is direct sunlight will not come. Then sprinkling of stockpile of coarse aggregate with water and keeping them moist. So what will happen? It will help to reduces the heat, but there is a catch, that you are adding water into the stockpiles, or you to add into the coarse aggregate. So this moisture also given the water into the concrete. So you need to calculate how much water you are producing and how much water you are given. So accordingly you need to play the water cement ratio also. The result in cooling by evaporation and its procedure is especially effective when relative humidity is low. Such sprinkling should not be done haphazardly, because it leads to excessive variation in surface moisture and thereby impairs uniformity of workability, that I am discussing today, that it should be in a controlled way. Otherwise what will happen? The this water, the surface water will introduce into the mix, and then water cement ratio will be increased, and again the reduction of water will happen. Now what is saying, then when coarse aggregate are stockpiled during hot weather, successive layer should be sprinkled at the stockpile or in the build up. So it is also in that water sprinkling is another criteria. Or sometimes you can given the cool air inside the stockpile, that is also given for to make the temperature minimum. And the third is the water. Now the water has given a very huge impact, because when you adding water into the mix, you start reactant and the exothermic reaction is happening and the heat is producing, that is called heat of hydration. So if we cool down or if we reduces the water temperature, it will automatically or ultimately give the lower temperature of the concrete. Why? Because see, water when you are adding, if you have the 180 kgs of water or 170, you need not to increase the water content or you not to decrease, you just need to lower down the temperature. But in case of coarse aggregate, that is you are sprinkling the water, so you are adding more water then, so it is more difficult. But if you are lowering the temperature of the water, what is happening, without changing the quantity of water into the mix, it will reduces the concrete temperature. The mixing water has a greater effect in the temperature concrete, okay, because the specific heat also is more than the 4 to 5 times specific heat than the coarse aggregate and the fine aggregate, the cement aggregate. So in IS 17816 it's given then how this for a minimal concrete of mixture containing 330 cement. Just to give an example, 1 centigrade water, 1850 kg of aggregates, is changes of 2 degrees centigrade of water temperature will affect the 0.5 degrees change in the concrete temperature. You can see the figure here itself. So if only 2 degree temperature is in decreasing, 0.5 degree temperature of the cement is concrete is decreasing. So it is the best way to decrease the concrete temperature. Another way, we can use the ice flake. Why? The ice has the is a solid state. Now from ice it needs to start reacting, it needs to come to the water state, that means from solid state to liquid state. What we know that we require the latent heat, and its latent heat is 80 kilocalorie per kg for the water ice to water. So this heat from where it will take from the concrete itself or the ingredient itself. So it is more effective if you are using the ice flake. But one catch, that the ice flake should be melted during the mixing procedure, otherwise after mixing and after placing, if it is melted down, it will create more water pores inside the concrete, and there will be a reduction in shrinkage and the durability will be a problem. So using ice flake is more beneficial, but you need to take care that it should melt within the mixing time. And you can see here is also given the temperature difference when the ice flake is you are using in this graph in the IS 7861. So another best way to use the ice flakes. And third is cement. Now cement has also is the great impact on the concrete temperature, because cement and water is start reacting and they will producing the heat. Now from first 7 days the reaction start with the C3S. So we need to use the cement which has the low C3S. Why? Then the reaction with the water will be less and the heat of hydration will be less, so the temperature will not go beyond the 40 degrees centigrade whatever in mentioned in IS 786, or if it is required sometimes it's, we are considering 32 degree is maximum. So using low C3S cement is essential for the controlling the temperature. And another way, supplementary cementitious material, that is fly ash and GGBS we are using. So what is happening, they have also lowered down the percentage of the cement, so they are also helping us to maintain the concrete temperature during the placement and during the setting time, setting within the setting one. So another way to reduction in the temperature in the concrete during the hot weather, using the low C3S cement and use the supplementary cementitious metal as a part replacement of cement. That is also help us to reduces the temperature of the concrete during the hot water. So in this way you can reduces the temperature during the hot weather, and also plan when the temperature is low or the atmospheric temperature is low, is maybe during the evening time or the night time, because most of the concrete, it's a usual practice that we are doing the main concrete in the night time, because in the night time the atmospheric temperatures become lower. So all the effect what we are mentioning, so it will be not effect detrimentally on the concrete. And also immediately you start the curing, and also you need to protect the concrete surface so that there will be no evaporation water. How we can protect the water? We can cover the concrete surface by using the polythene sheet or any other means, so that there will be no evaporation of water into the atmosphere, that there will be no shrinkage or thermal crack. So this way we can mitigate the effect of hot weather concrete whenever we are doing concrete into the hot weather. So what is the effect and how we can mitigate that one, that I discussed today, and I hope you find it useful. And if you find it useful, kindly subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon, so that whenever I upload a new video you will get immediate notification. And I'm waiting for your valuable comments, so that from your valuable comment everybody will be benefited. And if you want to know anything more about quality control and construction, please let me know. I will come with more content like this. And thank you once again for watching me.